Still Ramadan, still in the mid of Ramadan, almost celebration we do, Shia people, called Grekshun, or Grigaan, I believe they call it, the Kuwaitian peoples. And I haven't worked on the game engine for a while. Well, yeah, I couldn't work in 3 days, let me be honest. But in the meanwhile, while I was behind the camera, I actually done tons of stuff. And you can see all of them in here in this page. You can pause and read if you want. Actually, after I made it full screen, it doesn't seem that much, is it? So let me be honest, I have a huge resistance to do the work because I'm quite stuck with the control manager. I'm kind of not sure. At first I was like, let me make the control manager as a fixed code in the engine. Each game has its own game control manager. But because I went this far to make the game engine data driven, I was like, why not make it data driven too? And I was like, I wasn't ready for that. And then I was like, okay, let's start bitching around and see what's going on. And I was like, you know, if you're going to make it data driven, let's at least have attack and move as data driven. And I haven't dealt with attack and fire. I have a fire class. I have a very primitive one. If I run the old, this is the oldest, what do you call it? Prototype. This prototype is like 6 years ago. 6 years old. It's just not that, what do you call it? Recent. And you can see it has fire. But the problem is the fire is always fixed in size. The collision detection is really fixed, and as you can see, when it's calculated to pass the head, it doesn't do that good job. I mean, it's not that realistic. There's a way to fire on the angles, but I didn't make the control have the ability to fire on the angles, and that's the issue. That's one of the issue. So because you have a new system, just like about the new mic, I forgot to say I have a new mic, one of the best, the Blue Yeti Bro. I really thank my bro for buying this for me. After I asked him to deliver one, I will pay him back when I have the money. But it's very, very, very useful and powerful mic. Even though I'm talking calmly, I mean, I'm not screaming as the previous videos, and I believe the voice is too high now. I need to adjust it a little bit and play with it a little bit. This is the first test. So why am I not using my old fire class is because I start to have something called collision areas with every animated particle, and every animation has its own collision. So when you go here, you can see this area in green. Let's change the color into red. And this is the area of collision where the fire should hit, and the new fire class should have a collision area too. So whenever it collide or intercept, it will collide. It will detect it as collide, and on each animation it could change its position too. So it can go wildly in different rectangles as much as I wanted. And that's why the new fire class is not good, because the old fire class have a fixed area. So I started the stream. I didn't even started the timer as usual, even though I prepared it. Let me start the timer, and I should decrease 5 minutes from it. After 20 minutes, great. just decrease the 530. So what should we do? What should we do? First, let me enable the chat, because maybe some alien will come and say hi. And second, why do I have the itch all of a sudden in my hand? Only God knows. Second, let's work on the new system. So, if you read what I have done in the last few days, I add a fire point in the animation. And let me describe what is that. Unfortunately, I don't have good animations yet. And I'm giving my artist his time to do his work and deal with this issue. But when I get good animations, hopefully the control managing system will be ready. So if you see this fire, the red arrow is the position where the fire should come from in this animation, if there is one. Unfortunately, I screwed up with the updating and it doesn't update immediately. So imagine if this is a Superman or something and he can fire laser from his eye. So the fire come out from his eye in here. And let's imagine it comes from his eye, but it goes an angle down. And in here it doesn't fire. And in here we can make it fire again. And here, for example. So he's still shooting from his eye. So in this animation, if we save it like this, we will have 3 positions where the fire can come from. This is a little bit complicated now. You see, the animated particle can be a creature and it can be a weapon, and both of them can fire. And based on the action condition, if it is a recursive call, then the actions will happen on both. So if the creature holding a weapon and both of them calling fire command, then the weapon and the player will fire the command or use the attack. So as you can see, the system is not complete yet. Not complete. How to put it? I'm not sure how to put it. I'm not implementing the game on the system yet completely. I need to make some kind of live testing, and before we can do that, we need to finish some animation played on the engine. And before we can do that, we need to finish the control manager. And before we can do that, we need to finish some of the stuff in here. So I made a GUI that should show the animated particle, and I need to make it show the animations in here, and we add how many fires do we want to fire on which fire point that does exit from the animation itself. And I can implement a path for the fire. What does that mean? Well, the fire already have a point and an angle. Where does it go? But some of the fires in some of the airplane games doesn't go straight. They have some kind of path. And some of the enemies in airplane shooters games too have a path. So I'm thinking to make a system for that. And to be honest, it's heavily geometrically related. And I'm not completely sure how I'm going to do this. I thought about to make a timer or a dictionary that saved the time. Like after 5 seconds, add X based on if it is going to the right or going up. Then add X if it's going down, decrease X. Something like this. But I'm not completely sure how I'm going to do it. So to be honest, I will keep it unimplemented for now. I don't think I will use it in this game at least. But I need to make sure that the game know how to use them somehow. So I'm going to leave something like no bath in here. So whenever we want to add the attack, we should have no buff. So yeah, this is another day of coding where I'm not completely sure what to do next. So congratulations, you are going to live with someone who's totally confused, and let's at least work on the GUI for today. So on fire, on the attack, let's focus on the attack first. So we need the animated particle, and it only work on animations, and it requires the name. So every time we activate it, we need to know the name to activate the attack. We need a fire, which is here. When I run the game, does the enable thing shows? Yeah, this one should be invisible, and when I click on edit, it should show. I want to make something similar to the languages. Man, I haven't went to that page for years, so let's see. We need to load a map first, because the old engine, or the old map simulator, I always feel something wrong on my table, because every time I lift my eye a little bit, or turn my head a little bit, I notice something huge on the table, and it's the stupid microphone. I'm not familiar with it. Oh, wow. We have some issues in here. I don't want to deal with these issues like these now, because they might deal with forbidden stuff. Oh yes, the new maps. I don't think the new maps works anymore, do they? Yes, because I saved the creatures now. Oh, I thought I fixed that. I made them work with stuff. So the creatures shows now. You can add the creatures on the map, and they can zoom in and zoom out if I don't screw up the zoom. And for some reason there's no background. Oh wait, the background is exactly. Oh wow, I forgot how horrible my zoom is. I don't know why. I believe it's because the sensitivity of the scroll. Even though I connected with the timer to decrease the sensitivity, and it's still screwed up. And maybe because it deals with percentage. I'm not sure how to make a smooth scroll in and scroll out, let me be honest. And actually it was much better before one of my stupid brothers told me the zoom in should go toward the mouse. And actually that's what's screwing up. Actually when you zoom out it's alright, but when you zoom in and the mouse is in the lower part of the screen, it goes bad. But when it is above the screen, above the half, even if it is above the right half, it's not that good. But when it's lower, it just screwed up anyway. And wow, look at me going around, going all over as usual. So when we go to the languages, and when you click on change, it shows you how many languages. I want to do something similar with fire, because you shouldn't edit the fire collision. You shouldn't be able to edit it from here. You should be able to edit it from here. But if all of a sudden it just... I don't know why I made the edit in here. Maybe I should remove that. Okay. Yes, this part of design was before the action condition. Way before action condition, and a lot of stuff I made this group, and I just took it and put it as it is, and yes, because I thought I would make both pages on the same page. Yeah, that's the reason. Not anymore, because the file will be more complicated. So as you can see, this is how my mind works when I try to decide things. So actually, we can safely remove all of that, because I don't think I want to change that. So let me do this. Lower this a little bit and put it here. This is really horrible. Really horrible. And I don't care. Actually, I care a little bit, but not that much. I care about how this thing is look like, but not that much. Not going to go out of the way just because it doesn't look nice. What I really care about is this thing is working at the end of the day. To be honest, I have several conflict. How am I going to make the melee range? I might make the fire itself considered melee, not the attack itself, and make it use an image as a mask. I need to be worried about the microphone. It seems so sensitive that it detects even the table movement, and I need to be really careful of that. I will listen to this record after I finish and see the quality. So far the attack, this is all what we need for the attack. We can add several fires, and actually I can move the fire list above, so it seems like it's part of the attack itself, but I prefer to put it below so I can add some more options in here. So I don't know. So each fire have its own shift and its own bath. And its own exit. Do you want to do that? I guess so. Yeah, with this system we can use the same animation for different attacks actually. So if you have a heavy weapon that fire at the end of the animation, you can use the end of the animation fire point. If you have a faster weapon, you can use earlier exit. And if you have like a machine gun, you can use multiple exits. It's something like that. I believe in my humble scratchbook, I put some of the data for the fire and some of the scratches, because we might jump to the fire. The reason why I start streaming is to an attempt to give an hour of work at least today, because yesterday I tried to work but instead of working, and hopefully my game designer won't hear me. Thanks God no one is watching these videos. I kept watching cartoons instead. And if you are interested, it's called Conan the Barbarian. Oh my God, Conan the Adventurer, sorry. I really love that animation. It's in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm not sure which is the year, but the graphics is not so old that it has some kind of the defect and like the jumps between the animations. No, it doesn't have that, and it's not too new, not late 90s or mid 90s. It's early 90s, like 91 or something. So it has some beauty in it as well. So I really love the graphic style, and I really like the writers. Most of the writers do a great job in the episodes. And I don't know why the cartoon is not known. Maybe it's known but not in here, but I never heard about it. Oh, this is designed for the layer system. Nope. Yeah, the layer system actually, believe it or not, took from me a lot of time. Not more the action condition, but it took me a lot of time because I wasn't sure how am I going to implement the thing. What the hell? This is the largest base. Oh, I was trying to implement Final Fantasy game on my system. Will it work? And it's actually on my... Yeah, this is a test for the status and skill page. I wish if I had the camera to show you the design pages. It's a full A4 design page for the whole game. Can I make a game with this status and skill system? And I made Final Fantasy VII, just a scratch, not the whole thing, but just a blueprint. And Super Mario Bros. And Neverwinter Night. Neverwinter Night is way much more complicated because it has modifiers, and that's why I add the formula actually page to add a capability to add a modifier. And this is the design for the game file itself, the first version. Now, and this page is before the game file. It says we need few factories. Yeah, before my engine became data driven, and I was suggesting some ideas on here. Fix dialogue as the main menu. Maps loaded and players fixed hero. Animation tester, man. Adjust map to hold creatures info. I done that actually. Make units creatures. Actually, I done that, and it's called prototype. Work on fire. Still, actually, I'm working on it now. Work on objects. I'm going to leave this one out. Make a campaign object. Ha ha ha. Will take forever to reach to that level. Or to that point. This is a very old to-do note, and I still didn't finish everything, it says. Oh wow. This design belonged to the animation system. Oh wait. The notebook is from both sides. Some of the pages has design from both sides of the paper. HP, position, gas. Hey, wait, I believe this is the position that I need to work on. When fire several gas blocks. Yeah, this is the stupid fire weapon design. Aha, finally. This is some of the info on the fire. And these, some info of the enemies, the archdevils. We don't need that. So it says in all design, but I wasn't convinced with it because I wanted my system to save the least amount of data and the least amount of conditions and the most results I can get from it. And I'm a little bit strict about that because I really want to reuse this engine to do over and over, to do the things over and over on it and make several games out of it. And I really want this engine to last long and have less bugs. That's why I didn't accept this design, and let's take a look on it. So the fire has a name, it has a type, and it has an image, and this is the name. I didn't have anything that say type. I might make a type as similar to the accessory slots. So the accessory accepted type, you need to add the tabs in a place like here, and you can select them with the scroll with the combo box. I mean, sorry. So I might do something similar to that. So I was thinking to make a factory of these guys. And I'm not sure about that idea. So I have an issue with the player. Where does he aim? And actually I kinda solved that with the fire point. So I don't need to worry about the player aim. And I don't need to worry about the bath, because we are going to use a bath system in the future. The bullet can be normal, flying on one line, and it can get affected by gravity. Well, all of this I'm calling it a bath. So actually this is not part of the fire itself anymore. It's part of the attack system. Melee can be single, number, or full damage. Chain or particle or partial. This is a little bit confusing. Do you know some of the games that some of the melee attacks only attack the first one? Or attack 3 guys, the first 3? Or attack part of the people, like the largest? Or attack all of them? Or the first one get the most damage? There are several types, but if you play the game like, for example, Epic War 5, a flash game, I actually download an app that play it on the desktop, but it's actually still flash loading from the browser. Unfortunately, this is a very old flash game that kinda stretched to the screen, so I apologize already. So most of the characters, how can I change the sound? Give me a second. Alright. So some of the characters, or all the characters actually in the game, have melee attacks, for example. And some of them, whenever they damage one unit, they cannot damage the units behind them. I don't know about the knight, but let me see. So you see, he attacked both of them. But some of the units, they can attack only the first one, see? So they cannot attack more than one. And some of the large unit, they just have some kind of a mask to hide their attack. They attack certain areas. So this guy, for example, I don't think it attacked the lowest creatures. This one, the werewolf thing, this one cannot hit the ones below him. So he attacks certain areas and missed some of the areas. So the area in here in the middle doesn't attack. So if I'm gonna do something like that, see, it didn't hit this one, but when it advanced a little bit, it hit it, because he hit it twice, once on the front, one on the back. So it's not so obvious all the time. But he missed one of them. But when he advanced a little bit, he hit it back. So this kind of attack, so I believe we need some kind of mask. I'm not sure, but this is my best guess. This is my best guess. So if we have an attack like this area, so we have a mask, like we want this area to have the damage, and this area to have the damage on the first frame. The second frame, it's different. So maybe I make this one as the first frame, the second frame this area, the third frame is this area. So actually this is 3 melee attacks. Each one of them have different frame of the animation. If you get what I mean. So something like that. So I'm not pretty sure about that. So for now I'm going to avoid dealing with melee attacks and focus on range attacks, because melee attack is not a fire, is it? It depends. It depends on system. At first I was like, let's make it not a fire, but then, yeah. Damn it. Confusing. So I have two choices. Either to make the melee part in here and consider all the melee attacks as fire, or consider the attack fire. The attack itself is melee or not, and ignore the speed. So I believe I'll make it belong to the fire itself. So let's make a group or a tab. And this is quite new. I never done that before. Oh crap, what have I done? I add something that almost messed up my system. No, this one that screw up the system. What am I doing? Oh yes, I was going to add tab control. Oh, this is the smallest, cutest tab control ever in life. Okay. So I don't know how I'm going to make the layout, but give me a second. It should be by the way, I really love the music in Epic War game, especially 5. I played all of them, and most of them are good, but 4, or is this 5? I believe this is 5. If I'm not mistaken, it's 5. Is the best version I really liked. There are a few new versions, new for me at least, and I didn't like any of them. It's kind of shame. But I kind of don't blame them trying to get money from the games, but at the same time, you know. I will leave the naming for later. I should leave the naming for later. Let's try to. That's why I couldn't see it, because I was selecting only the tab. I need to select the whole thing in here to get in here. So this guy should be melee. Well, let's make it range, because to be honest, the range has more priority in most of the games, especially 2D games. Unless if it is a fighting game, then that's a different story. Alright. So, only collision. What am I saying? Only the range attacks have collision. This one for both, because the sprite, I'm going to use it for both the masks and the bullets. Oops, I put my soda can on the mouse and it screwed up everything. Alright. Oh man, this looks uglier than before. It will be always ugly, but no problem. Anyway, maybe if I make this one a little bit smaller, because the stupid text, I need some space in front of it. So no need for these two in here. And now I can give a tag to this guy. And to be honest, maybe I should put this one on the bottom. And I don't think this will go out nicely. Yeah. Maybe I call it, yeah, maybe if I, yeah. The shift is, how to put it, is how far is this fire is away from the original fire point. And I might add the angle. For example, I love to make visual examples, even though I'm suck at them. I don't think it's in a debug because this is the X and no, okay. For example, if this is the fire area, even though this is not a weapon, but imagine he's a monster and he can fire fireballs like an imp. And this is the fire point position. If I made a shift -2 on the X and -2 on the Y, the fire will come up in this area. Actually, let me copy this and make it transparent. And make this one yellow. Is yellow good? I don't think so. I believe it's blinding. So if I add a fire -2 X and -2 Y, let's make it -3. It will be like this. And if I add another fire that have +2, or let's yeah, +2 and +2, let's make it +3, it will be in this area. So he will fire 2 shoots, but none of them is on the original area. And this is what's the shift all about. This number. And this is the plan. I'm thinking to add an angle to the whole thing. But I believe this is the bath thing. I don't know. I could add an angle. It won't take me even a second. And it took me more a second, I know. But hopefully this won't confuse my calculation when I do the bath thing. So every time you add a fire, it will add it to here. Then you can add the whole fire attack in here. And then the action condition, we can add the tag and do the tag of attack. I don't know. I'm thinking to make some kind of conditions, even though I always want to avoid conditioning to make stuff, but I might make a simple conditioning for speed purposes. I mean, I already have a full interpreter that can do some body. I'm really bad in English sometimes. How to describe this? How to describe the hell of this? Um, let's go to here. And let's go to my SSI. Only God knows which version is not going to screw me up. Oh wow, this is... it might not work. Because a little bit old. 6 years old. Visual Basic 2008 or something. So, this is my interpreter, but this is an old version. And I don't have a universal version yet, like that you can connect it with any program and it work beautifully. I should work on that, but let me make the multiplication inside. So what does it do? It's actually understand the parentheses, and understand operations, and understand even making operations like math operation. M is equal to multiplication, and it says screw you, the mem cannot is not found because this one is not the correct format. So let me go to my dear friend, the expression, and go to the declaration expression, and it is math up. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Math up M is equal to plus 1 M2. It worked. Math or M is equal to multiplication. Do you know what? I never tried to make it into a parentheses. Let me try that. So let's make M as it doesn't exist. Nope. He won't like it because he won't. I need to add a type of body block and make it accept both the parentheses, this one and this one, or it won't accept it. Okay. So now M is multiplication, so it will give me 6. And it can accept any kind of bodies, any kind of number of bodies, as long as the bodies numbers are correct. If they are not correct, he will detect that. So I have a full-fledged, as they said, interpreter already I installed on the engine, and it's more advanced than this one. It supports multi-threading. But I believe this is kind of slow. I mean, it won't be as fast as select condition. I don't want every time I do a fire, he detect, is a fire a keyword? Is the grammar correct? Is this exist in the system? Is it a memory keyword? Oh, is this word taken? Oh my god, it just every fire and movement the character do, he'll do that. It's just for even for multi-threaded and multiplayers, I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not And this is bothers me because at first when I made the interpreter, it was supposed to be the guy who's going to do all these kinds of things. But now I'm not sure. So I'm thinking to make a smaller system that have just select case or switch and live with that. And use the dictionary. Actually, better than a switch, it's just a dictionary and for each. And what am I talking about? It's just a dictionary, and if it exists, then it will use it. That's it. It's not even a switch. So this is what I'm thinking about to do. So we need to add something in here, and I'm not sure what should we call it, that represent the things that the player can do. And they should be common in the engine. And this is what bothers me. I don't want to limit what kind of games do we have in the map simulator, so the engine will get limited. I'm trying to make it as open as possible so I can make any kind of games on it. And this is one of the biggest issues that bothers my head now. So if I add a tab in here, and let's try to make a name for it. Let's call it... the problem is the action name is already taken. I cannot call it action anymore because... God, I hate this crap. Let me take a synonym for action. To be honest, it become confusing. It become harder and harder to describe what the hell is going on. The action on the action system is not the action in here. What does that mean? Because the action in the action system is more general. For example, falling is an action, but it is not something that you can control as provoke to the character. You can't call it, hey, fall. But when you click down and jump on a platformer and he starts falling, he will get an action of falling. But the action to do that is a different name. So falling is the action condition. The procedure to make him fall from the platform is the thing that I'm introducing now. And this thing, if you return to... I will never finish. To my old diagram. Not if I can find in here. It was supposed to be a hard code in a Game Lover. I was like, let's make it as a hard code. Now I'm trying to make it as partially as a driven code too. Even this one, the only bar that has hard code in it, is becoming partially data driven. And this is what I'm not comfortable with. I'm really not comfortable with. So this is the active actions, or actions in short. And this thing, we need to give it a name. Not funny. Anyway, so let me keep this one on the second page. And where's my... dictionary. Action. Synonym. I don't know how to spell synonym. You need to hit me with a hammer to remember this. Yes. I cannot imagine a word with two Y's. It just... yeah. Reaction. Live. Dash. Alertness? Alertness? Really? Force. Animation. Enterprise. Man. Movement. Ball game. Actually, I was thinking to call it move, but Operation. Operation Cold War. Operation, I don't know, 0 hour or whatever. Reaction. Isn't that word taken already? Response. Energy. I believe these the least close the word, I believe, in the works. Vitality. So activity is the most closer to the meaning, I guess. I'm thinking to change the old name to something else, but to be honest, I don't want to do that. Let's just pick a new name for this idiot. Do you know what I'm going to call it? I'm going to call it Control. Maybe not. Control. Control. Is this a good name? Control. The problem is Control is a long name. And Move, I'm going to use Move as one of the moves. So Move is not a good name too. Because I'm going to say action tag, do move. I was like, move is not good tag. So in here I can whenever the result happen, when the side tag happens, sorry. Funny, I have a side tag, but I don't have a tag for the whole action condition itself. Do I need to add a third tag for the action result? A lot of them would work, don't you think? Damn it. I might need to add a move tag or something. So yes, that's why I was not really good in that's why I'm avoiding to stream, because my work is mostly at the best in the month of Ramadan. The holy month is like this, and yes, I'm not sure which name should I be. No, don't. This is very fucking sensitive. Careful with this. Even if you touch it like this, it makes sounds. So let me see. It has been around 4 minutes. I cannot pick a name. Operation is very long name too. Same reason why I don't like activity. Reaction, nah. It's not a response. It's the opposite of a response. Enterprise is just really. So let's see synonyms for use. Let's see synonyms for move. Let's see synonyms for control. Well, okay, I decided I'll call it the control, even though I don't like the name because it will confuse the hell everyone, including myself, but I'll call it control. Where's the tab? Weird. Because the control management, yeah, the control managers will use control. Okay, fair enough. Oh, cancel. So we have a control page. Congratulations. So what do we expect from control? First of all, God, we have an AP, the animation particle. And each animation particle have a list of controls. This is the confusing part. This is a very confusing part. Okay. How to put it? Some of the games, the animation is restrict. It must apply before the action happen. And control is kinda dealing with that issue. Sometimes you tell the player jump, but he doesn't jump because he cannot jump. So, because he's in the middle of the air, for example. So the control, even though it do stuff, but if it is possible, and he is not the one who decided if it is possible or not. The one who decided if it is possible or not is this guy actually. So this guy called this guy to do this stuff. And one of the stuff he can do, for example, is shifting the player or give it, make it jump or moving. And how can you make this thing or this control as data driven as possible? And here we go to the same problem. So does control invoke attack, or does attack get invoked by the action condition in here? A lot of questions. So yeah, this is the life of a programmer. And if you listen to this video, I'm glad you came to see. As you can see, I didn't put it as a game engine part because I know my work will be horrible. And as I demonstrated, but I'm happy I made this video because it took out a lot of ideas in my head that I wasn't sure why I'm exactly cannot move forward in the work. And it's because the whole idea of the control and attack and moving and jumping, how can you make them into a system as a data driven without screwing up the whole system? First of all, this is not Walker game, this is a game engine, and I have at least 7 games that I want to design on this other than Walker. Walker is not counted on them, and including a card game, an RPG game, an action game, and even an old 3D game, and not old 3D, old 2D and half game like Wolfenstein, like a dungeon game. One of them is a dungeon game actually. It's a Fahd Quest actually. So if you know Fahd Quest, I'll try to make it into dungeon. You can play it as a dungeon or the 2D puzzle game in texture. You see the text space. So yeah, and with that we end this video. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Hopefully after Ramadan I will start recording and doing 3 to 6 hours daily, and hopefully I will get on the pace and start doing from 6 to 8 again as before Ramadan. Before Ramadan started, I was working from, let's say, from 4 to 8, and it was really nice. But hopefully I'll return back. So thank you for the support and see you next time.